Hey guys, it's Ben with Ben Terry Farm, and welcome to our channel. This is the first video I'm going to be putting up on YouTube. I've had an account on Instagram and Facebook for quite a while, but Instagram has not allowed me to post videos that are longer than a minute for quite a while now, so I'm going to reach out and get on YouTube, and I think YouTube's probably a better platform anyway because it just seems that Instagram is more for just pictures and short clips, sort of more short attention span type things, and I'd like to do more full-length videos explaining things. So our first video today is going to be about cleaning seed and specifically cleaning peas, and it's that time of year. We're about a month away or so. Early March is when we plant our peas, and so I'm out here cleaning peas that we grew last year, and so we're saving our own seed, which is something that's very important to do, especially in organic farming where we're not using GMOs. Saving GMOs is actually illegal, and a lot of the hybrids, like especially in corn, you can't even save the seed from. But with the field peas, they're open pollinated, and we didn't have the best yield last year, but there was a lot of different factors in that. And we did do a germ test on our peas, and the germ was pretty good. So I'm going to clean a bunch of the peas here today. I've already cleaned about 1,000 pounds. And I'm doing it by hand, so it's kind of slow. But I'm going to turn the camera around here, and I'm going to show you the piece of equipment that we use to clean the peas. And it's called a density separator, or otherwise known as an aspirator. And so what this machine does is you put the peas up here, and then it falls by gravity. And as it's falling, there's a fan in here. I'm not sure how well you can see that. And basically the fan is blowing from the left side of the screen here, and it blows across and blows the lightest stuff out the window. And down here you have different chutes that catch things based on density. And to my left, or to the viewer's left, would be the most dense, and that's your best seed. You can see down here, the seed looks pretty good. And we're dumping it into this bag, and once I get to 1,000 pounds, I'll actually be done, because 2,000 pounds will be enough. 2,000 pounds will be enough to plant our 12 acres at about 90% germination. And so what we have with the other bays, because as it gets blown further and further away, the stuff is less and less dense. And you see there's some, trash in here, like different weed seeds and stems. And then as we get down to like the lightest stuff, it's just pretty much pure trash. There's maybe a couple peas in there. And the reason why this is effective, guys, is because these peas that get blown further away, because they're less dense, the germination rate, which is, when I say germination rate, what I mean is the pea seeds that actually they'll put out a radicle, which is what we want to see, and that is the first root developing from the peas, and then it's what turns into a pea plant. Down here is probably maybe, I don't even want to estimate because I haven't done it, but if I had to guess, 25% would germ, whereas these, when we did a germ test, it was about 92%. And I'll go over to a bag over here. This is the bag that just came out of the field. And some people are going to look at this and just be like, actually, that's not it. It's this one. And just be like, wow, you got some really dirty peas. And yeah, it's true. There were lots of weeds in this field. There's a lot of things I'm going to do different this year so we don't have this issue again. But yeah, one of the biggest problems is the seed that I had bought had a very poor germ last year. And that's the first year we tried growing peas. And so it didn't come up very well, and it came up a lot worse than I was even expecting. Because you try to calculate, you plant extra heavy if you have a known bad germination rate. Well, what happens is if you don't have the complete canopy, a complete coverage of the field, then weeds start filling in the gaps and they thrive, especially in organic farming, where you're not using any herbicides. And so we got lots of different weed seeds in here. Of course, the weeds had a long time to grow. You see that's a really thick stem of some plant. And of course, when that came in here, it was green, which makes it harder for it to dry. And so what I do is I take a bucket of this the way it was harvested right out of the combine. And I dump it up here in the hopper. And then I have to continually keep doing that to keep the hopper full. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on and show you guys. I want to check the hopper and see how much was in there. Turn this on and show you guys how this thing operates, just briefly here. All right, so I got the hopper full. And what we do first is we turn this knob to the right. And this right here is a variable speed control. It basically can control how fast the fan blows. So whenever I clean einkorn, which if this is the first video you've watched of ours, we also grow einkorn. And that is a very, very light seed. And so I'd have that on a setting of about 2.4 to 2.5. And cleaning einkorn is very tedious, and it's actually hard to get the weed seeds out with just this. It'd be better if we had something that also separated by size and not just density. But for the peas, they can really, really turn that fan up. They're a lot heavier, and they are more aerodynamic, meaning they resist the fan blowing them a far distance. So actually, rocks will come out in here too, unfortunately, because peas must have a density similar to rocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on. It's going to get loud here, so I'm going to stop talking once I turn it on. I'm going to open the gate up. All right, guys, I turned the machine off so you can hear me, and I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. I did forget to mention what we do with the peas that are not as dense, such as this container. These peas will still have a decent germ, but they're less dense, and so what we're going to do with these is I take a bucket, I bucket them out, and I put them into a bag, a tote bag. And what we'll do with these is we'll feed them to our chickens and ducks, which is the reason why we started growing peas, really, was just to feed our animals. Now, we don't have enough chickens and ducks to feed all the peas that we grow right now, but hopefully with more and more customers coming to us, with more and more support, we will be able to feed almost all of our peas because we want to cycle the nutrients here on our farm. I don't want to export our nutrients and our minerals to other farms. I want it to stay here to keep our soil vitality as high as it can be. And so peas are just one aspect. It's actually our soy replacement, and the reason why we don't use soy in our chicken feed and our duck feed is because of the isoflavones and the estrogen mimickers that are in soy. I think isoflavones is one of them. Don't quote me on that. I'm just off the top of my head. But yeah, I think isoflavone is one of the estrogen mimickers. And I personally, especially it's not good for women or men, but as a man, I don't want to be consuming eggs that were given a ton of soy because of those estrogen mimickers in it. And all legumes do have some estrogen mimickers, but peas have an incredibly low, it's like, single percentages of what soy has. Soy has an unbelievably high percentage of them. So we don't want to feed that to our animals, and we don't want to be consuming it because there'll be high concentration in the eggs. Now, one caveat to that is there have been studies done that the estrogen mimickers can still be in eggs if you have your animals out on pasture and they are eating lots of alfalfa and clover. It'll still end up in there. Now, I don't know that they're exactly the same ones. I don't know how many estrogen mimickers there are. Honestly, I'd have to do a little more research into it. as what's coming from animals fed a high soy diet. But yeah, so that's why we chose peas, and the peas are about 30% protein. Well, can be up to about 30%. They're usually between 25 and 30% protein. So it's a really good protein source for the animals. It's also really, really good for our falling crop because peas fix a lot of nitrogen. They are a legume. And so therefore, they can take atmospheric nitrogen and make it into an organic form of nitrogen, which the falling crops can use. And so it's also amazing because the peas, they are harvested in July, whereas soybeans are normally in October or November, at least here in Pennsylvania. And so sometimes you're cutting it close to getting for me, einkorn. Einkorn is a winter wheat, and we plant it in October. And so you're in a massive rush if you use soy to get the soy off before you can put your wheat in, your winter wheat, if that's what you grow. And we do grow it. So it's really nice to have peas. You can put in a cover crop. You can graze it. And, not only do you have nitrogen from the peas, you have all the biomass that will be stomped down by the cows and all the manure they'll put down eating your cover crop. You can put in all types of warm season annuals in there. And so it's just a really nice rotation for our farm. And I'm really hopeful. I found out that somebody grew peas. It's pretty rare to grow peas like this, field peas, for grain, at least in Pennsylvania. And I found out that someone grew field peas very close to here and had a really good yield last year. So we're very hopeful, especially saving our own seed. It's now been acclimated to our climate a little bit. That's what always happens with seed when you save it, is that it always becomes better for your climate. And so, yeah, we're very hopeful this year. And we're very excited to plant our own seed this year. And honestly, the amount of pea seed that it takes to cover 12 acres with organic seed, they were basically quoting me with shipping at like $1,900. So to save that kind of money is huge, and it builds a lot of resiliency. I don't need to depend on, them shipping this pea seed from out west. That's where they grow most of the peas, and so it's it's great to just have, our own seed right here, and I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So, yeah, I hope you guys liked my first video. If you found it interesting, please like it and comment and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos. Now that we're switching to YouTube, Rumble, I'm hoping to put it on BitChute as well, because just the censorship problems. I'm going to talk about topics that have gotten people censored in the past, even though we're going to, have very few followers to start out. They're probably not going to have much of a target on our back, but yeah, I'm not going to hesitate to speak freely about what my experience has been and what I think about things. So. All right, well, thanks for watching, and like I said, if you liked it, please subscribe and comment and follow us, please. Thank you.